Three. How's everybody? Thumbs up, waves. Oh my goodness. No, that's not going to do. I want to see more. All right, that's better. Wow, a lot of cameras are on. I like it. We'll get some more on. So that was, those of you who didn't know who that was singing, that was Tate McRae. Tate McRae is 19 years old. She's taking the world by storm and getting more and more popular. And Rick and my daughter are going to see her live tonight in New York City. So I'm sure that's why he chose that song. That's pretty cool. It's going to be our daughter's first in-person concert. So she's all excited for her 20th birthday. So it's rainy out there today and it's going to be warm, guys. So don't lose hope. It's going to be 60 something degrees today. So that's nice. And then some seasonable temperatures for the next week or so. Some nice days, some rainy days, typical stuff. So that's your weather report. Westport Mortgage. Who do we have today? I'm not sure who we have today. Mr. Bill. Awesome. Bill, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Steve. Thanks. How are you?
I'm great. So what's going on today?
Well, I was having a conversation with Karen yesterday, and she had me thinking about this topic, which we're going to tie into the whole week-long, month-long, year-long discussion of what to do about appraisals. But the topic is mortgage insurance, private mortgage insurance. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. If you can avoid it because you have 20% down, you save money, that's wonderful. But both our side on lending and your side on selling would be crying the blues if we didn't have the opportunity to do purchases with less than 20% down. And that's what private mortgage insurance does for people. So first thing to do is change our attitude and realize that this is a positive thing that helps us do a lot of business. But we need to talk about appraisals. That's on everybody's mind. So this is going to be a little conversation specifically about someone who is putting 20% down, okay? And they're purchasing and the appraisal comes in a little low, okay? Now, we've all talked about the different ideas, and you either have to borrow more or you have to put up more money. Something has to happen. But when you're in that 20% bucket, one thing that people shy away from that maybe they should give more consideration to is put 15% down. So in other words, leave your loan amount that you requested the same, the purchase price stays the same. Because the appraisal's lower, the lender looks at it differently. And the net result is you need private mortgage insurance. Specifically, we're in that 15 to 20% down spot. There's a lot of things about private mortgage insurance that are much more desirable than people realize. Number one, it goes away within probably 3 years if you already have 15, 17% equity. So you're paying it for a short period of time. The other thing is that private mortgage insurance is, the price of it is based on the equity position. So once you hit 15% equity, prices are very low. And so I'm going to give you an example. It is the best it's going to be. So granted, so if you have fantastic credit and 2 borrowers, and 15% down on a $500,000 purchase. So let's say you're paying $525 for it. You're going to borrow $425, but it came in a little low. Now you're going to still borrow the $425 on a $500 purchase. That's 15% equity. If you have excellent credit and 2 borrowers, you're only going to be paying $35 a month for private mortgage insurance. Yeah, no one wants to spend $35 a month. But if you ask me whether I'd rather spend the $35 a month for 3 years or come up with an extra $25,000 for closing, it's an easy decision for me. Okay. If you have the same 2 borrowers with middle of the road credit, it will be $70 a month. But for me, it's still the same easy decision. So I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to get rid of the negative stigma of the term private mortgage insurance and let us all realize that what it actually is doing is creating deals that wouldn't exist otherwise, but also make sure that it's something that's presented to your buyers when they do have an appraisal shortfall as one of the possibilities, because quite honestly, most of my buyers can't come up with another $25,000 just on the drop of a hat. So that's the message, but of course, the best way to convey this is to send your buyers to Westport Mortgage and let us explain it to them. Thanks, Steve.
Awesome, Bill. Thank you. Great as always. Really, really great message. I think everybody got a lot out of that. Thank you. All right, guys. Oh, being asked. So I wanted to took my jacket off so everybody can see our shirt. Dan has one on. Rick has one on. I don't know. I'm not sure who else has them on today, but These came from Keller Williams Realty International. There they are. They are available. Last I heard, the company has raised somewhere around between $25,000 and $30,000 already for the Ukraine. This goes to housing and essential needs. So if you guys want one, there it is. Go to the Red Label store, kwredlabel.com, and you too can get your shirt. They're really, really awesome shirts. And we are certainly going to be wearing them on Saturday for the Ukrainian event in the Stanford Market Center, Saturday from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Wanted to mention that as well. And also we're going to, you can't be there, guys. We're going to be in the Zoom room, in this KW Zoom room. That will be playing from the training room for all of the dancing and guest speakers that are lined up. So if you'd like to participate, you can always jump on there as well and donate as well. Okay, some more announcements. Bold started yesterday. Isn't that cool? I think that is so awesome. I want to show you this if I can. Look at that. Look at that training room yesterday. It was incredible. Every seat was taken. There was over 100 in the room. It was so nice to get back to normal again. And I will say Kimberly Horn is spectacular as a Bold coach. I think everybody unanimously got a ton out of the day, and we're excited for the next 6 steps of Bold. So that was really wonderful news, and happy that everybody showed up. So that was great. Today, 12:30, we have your 30 minutes of power from your ALC Productivity Committee. Don't miss that. Many of you have been attending, so that is today at 12:30. 1 o'clock, no 1 o'clock class, it's on the calendar. That's being postponed till next week, just so you know that. And then again, Saturday's the Ukrainian event. Something else that's coming your way because of Bold, I want to share it with everybody, is that Christopher Grass and Marissa Gilberti in Bold, they've decided that they're going to coordinate a lead generation day. Like sort of like Mission Millions. Those of you who've been around, we did Mission Millions Day. They're doing Tuesdays for the next 6 weeks in the Stanford training room. However, if other people want to get together in the other market centers and business centers on Tuesdays, they can, for group lead generation. Be there to support each other and really focus on making your calls and diving into your database or your data bank, as we heard yesterday. So again, that's going to be going on all day Tuesday, I think starting at around 9:30 until past 4 o'clock, because at 4 o'clock, my understanding is that there's going to be a little happy hour going on every Tuesday for those of you who participate. So you want that camaraderie and that support of others. Come to the training room, at least in Stanford, and we'll see if there'll be other locations as well to do this together. So that's a really cool thing. And those of you who know about a Bold 100 as well, the attempt to make 100 contacts in one day, that will be taking place on those Tuesdays as well. So there's great support around that. So if you're interested, that's where that will be happening. Just a quick mention, on April 6th, again, the Westport Playhouse, we have a happy hour and a musical. Happy hour, hors d'oeuvres, musical, $10. Can't beat that. They're doing it for us. Last I heard, we had quite a good amount of signups. Bring a guest, bring a co-broke, bring a significant other. And I know Diane Del Vecchio is going to have an update for us by tomorrow on where we stand with attendance on that and how much room is still left. But that's, again, April 6th, starting at 6:30 at the Westport Playhouse. April 7th, I hope you got your pens out and you already wrote this down and it's in your phone. April 7th, starting at 11:30, sales rally and awards ceremony going to be taking place in Stanford and Ridgefield, in-person gourmet lunch. Great stuff happening. Awards for all you guys and all your hard work from 2021. Can't wait to give you all those gold and platinum and bronze awards. Be there, be in it. We can't wait to see you. And we'll be Zooming the market centers together. You can be on Zoom from home as well, but you won't be able to participate per se. You'll just be observing. So that's happening on April 7th, again at 11:30. All right, we're going to shift to our spotlight today. And if you saw Rick's email, we wanted to bring back and share with you guys some information that came from the Gary Keller Mastermind that we had last Friday. We're privileged between the Stanford Market Center and the Ridgefield Market Center to be in the top 200 in Gary's inner circle. And we just took away a ton from this mastermind. So we wanted to share some of that with you. I'm just going to turn it over to Rick Scott to kick things off. Rick, what do we want to tell everybody?
Well, so sorry about that. I've got two screens going on. So the first thing I wanted to just mention was how Gary ended this shift book. And then I want to tell you how we started our mastermind on Friday. So the end of the shift book, page 279 to 280, page 279 at the top says, downward shifts are more difficult on the front end. Upward shifts, just like the one that you've been experiencing for the last 18 to 24 months, upward shifts become more difficult on the back end. A sustained seller's market finishes with high competition. That's what you've been experiencing, right? You've been experiencing ridiculously high competition from an upward shift, but recognize that what Gary wrote back in 2009 was, in an upward shift, things get tougher on the back end. Inventory gets tighter on the back end. So what does that mean? Well, it means we're on the back end of an upward shift. And if we're on the back end of an upward shift, what do you think that means? Where are we going? Where are we headed?
I think that would be a recession.
That would be a downward shift, otherwise known as a recession, right? And so we started our time with Gary on Friday, and his first words to us were, "Hey, good morning," or afternoon, whatever time it was. Welcome to your next recession. Because as far as Gary's concerned, we're already in it.
Totally. And remembering back, for those of you who were around at the time, back in 2006 into 2007, he said the exact same thing. We were already in it before people were saying we were in it, and then it happened in a really big way. So we've learned to listen to what this man says.
Well, yeah, that's a great point. In the 18 years that we've been in business with Gary, the kind of the inside joke for any of you who have ever spent time around him is, hey, do you remember that time that Gary said this was going to happen and he was wrong? Yeah, either do I, right? Because for whatever it is, he's excellent at spotting trends and looking at where things are going, whether it's in the economy or in the industry. I was been reading a whole lot about where things are going lately, not just in real estate, but in the economy in general. And there were two other factors that are starting to support what Gary said on Friday. I don't know if any of you follow yield curves. I don't, just by the way. However, the yield curve for the bond market was inverted for the first time since however long ago, earlier this week, right? And so when the yield curve gets inverted, that's just another sign that we're headed for a turnaround. The other interesting thing I read, and I'm not making this up, is that there's a sign in the strength of men's underwear, because apparently men don't buy underwear very often because they don't really think it's all that important. However, when times are flush, they buy underwear more freely. And when things get a little tighter, men don't buy underwear anymore. And the men's underwear market right now is starting to see a slowdown. Again, I'm not making this up. I was reading this in some financial something or other the other day.
Say this wasn't in our notes, Rick, talking about today's topic. So
no.
Go ahead.
So
I don't remember Gary
is,
talking about men's underwear.
Yeah, I don't either.
So between the yield curve and Gary Keller and men's underwear, I think we know where we're headed, right? And we just have to start preparing for where we're headed. And there are a couple of things to start focusing on, right? What were some of the things that Gary was pushing us to focus on for what's coming?
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing that I think is really cool, and I'm going to give you guys this graph. You can't really see it now, but see that line, that squiggly line right there? Right there, that's the market, okay? The stock market, typically, the upper part is 9 to 10%. Below is real estate, and that's just the trend line for those, right, guys? Typically 4% appreciation in real estate, and the up and down, the top and the bottom of the market. There you go. Dan's drawing it right there. Why don't we put Dan on? Spotlight Dan too.
Oh, sorry, I forgot Dan.
Yep. So this is how most people think markets work, right? You have the tops of the markets and the bottoms of the markets, right? Except that's not actually how markets work, right? It's not actually how our economy works. Our economy works more like this, right?
Yep.
It's always growing. If you look back over history, we are higher. Our economy is stronger than it's ever been. We're producing more than we've ever produced, right? Markets, prices, everything are higher than they've ever been before. So markets don't stay flat, they increase. So what we're really looking at is this, right? That was the whole conversation. So it's not about whether or not you're buying high and or buying low and selling high, right? It's about, are you buying and holding to eventually sell somewhere here? If you're buying here and selling here, guess what? You made money.
Correct.
Right? If you buy here and sell here, you're not. But if you buy here and you wait till here, guess what? You made money, right? So that was an interesting conversation to have around this. So it's
the bulk of money made, right, Dan? He said the rich, right? They're in that middle layer, right?
They're buying here.
They're not waiting for the lowest point of the market. I mean, do you ever really know when that is? No, because when the only time you realize that it's happened is when it's on its way up. So
Right.
the bulk of that is happening in that middle layer. And that's where the real wealth is. So those are the conversations that you could be having with your clients as this market shifts. Also, Rick, he talked about the concept of it's a fight to maintain, right? To maintain your market share. One of the fundamental takeaways from Shift is that in a shifted market, any market share that you gain in that downward market is market share that you will not relinquish when the market comes back up. And that's market share that you gain. So you have to focus on maintaining that market share and growing it as the market, then you come out of the shift. 4 ways to do that. First was, it's time to get real. And what he meant by that was act like the market that's coming is here. And that's what Rick just said, right? We're going to listen to Gary Keller because he's never been wrong, truly never been wrong, as far as we know. So we know the market is coming, that recession is here, it's coming, it's going to be stronger. So it's time to get real with your business. Second thing is to rebudget your business. What did he say about rebudgeting, Rick?
Well, you have to know where to spend money and where not to spend money, right? And right now it's spending money to locate and double and triple down on lead generation, right? If you're going to spend any money, spend it finding leads, spend it converting leads, spend it getting better at your skills. Don't people start cutting out coaching, people start cutting out, coming into the office, you gotta know what side of your bread the butter goes on, or whatever that phrase is, right? And recognize that there are things that you don't cut because they create more opportunity for you. However, I've heard Gary say this before. He didn't say it Friday, but I'll repeat it anyway because it's something I'm going to start doing. Start hoarding cash. Start hoarding cash. Yeah. Right? Cash is king, especially in a downturn. Now, again, this is not to be all doom and gloom. This is not to say, oh my God, the sky is falling. Because guys, guess what? When you're prepared, you make money in any market. Our message to you this morning is get out your shift book and read it this weekend. Start taking steps to be prepared so that you can win in whatever market is coming and not be freaked out by it. Steve, what were the last 2 things before we run out of time?
Yeah, do more with less, right? Look at same kind of concept, what Rick was just saying. Look at everything around you. Look at your world. You can do more with less, cutting things back. There can be some things that you can do without that will then, benefit your business. And then last is find the motivated. Always, this should always be, but you're finding the motivated. Maybe a little bit harder to find those motivated, right? But focus on that. That is truly your focus. Who are those motivated buyers? Who are the motivated sellers? And focus on them.
All right, guys, that's pretty much what we have for you this morning. We wanted to at least give you the start of, hey, you know what? The roller coaster ride or the rocket ship ride, I should say, of the last 2 years, may well be coming to an end. Be prepared for it. You're already, here's the thing, you're already struggling, right? The market creates a struggle right now. So don't be freaked out that a downturn might create more of a struggle. It'll just create a different struggle. Markets always have ups and downs, pros and cons. What else to Steve before we're done?
Yeah, I just want to say, okay, really guys, there's 100 of us on here right now. If you don't have this book, that's a problem. Get this book. I'm going to be sending an email. If you don't have it and you would like it, we'll do a mass order. You really need to get this book. Listening to it on Audible doesn't cut it. You need the book. You got to write in it. You got to tab it. You got to sleep with it over the next couple years. Trust us. So look for that email and we'll get you a shift book.
Brilliant. All right, guys. Thanks.
Guys,
Have a great day.
great day.
Thank you.
Order your shirts.
Yeah, I got a shirt.